Hey guys, Toby from Gaming now, coming to you with round 1 of the DDG League at Apricot Hill, the 16 lapper. And the qualifying report, we're going to start with a what the fuck moment. As you can see there, it's a glitch within itself. So in qualifying, we're aiming hopefully for a top 5 maybe. And coming into turn 1 here, looking good, and we've actually encountered a slower car, which is on TM Imports. He's going pretty slow. I don't know if he's conserving or he just hasn't found any pace or a good setup. I'm not running a setup in this race. I've just changed the aero to full. So I'm pretty much relying on Mercedes. So he is actually holding us up quite a bit as we're roping him in. And that's going to mess up this lap for us. I think I actually get past him here, and the time I set is about a 1:19, which isn't good. So I decided to come in, put some new boots on and short fill. Don't want any. I don't fill. I don't want any fuel holding me down. And again, I can't do anything, and it leaves me stuck in 7th for the race. So hopefully, we can do a lot better in the race. I'm aiming for a target of about 5th place. I want to get in the top 5. Alright, so here we get the race report. So we're starting in 7th, where we finished in qualifying, and we're going to try get in the top 5. So I'm actually waiting for quite a bit while everyone seems to be warming their engines up. There we go, now we get the countdown, trying to find the right revs. We get an amazing launch. Jamak in front of us, wheel spins, and the Mercedes to the left just goes nowhere. We're going to try force the nose down the middle, and we're actually going to make it. We're going to muscle our way through. The blue SLS tries to cut me off, and it just doesn't work, and then we're going to try dive up Jamak's inside, but it's fighting us all the way. And now we've finally got past him, and now we've got Doomy, or whatever he's called, coming back, trying to get the position back, but we're not going to let him have it. We're going to maintain our position, and then he forces us wide, and then we have to try and get our line, and then we get a bit eager on the throttle and just catch the sand, and it throws us right to the back of the grid, which is not what we wanted at all. So now we've got to spend the race recovering. So now we have Kokoraki here, seems to be going a bit slow, but now he's picked up the pace, slowing down for the gun to get a better exit. Galactic Skull to the right there has got an absolutely awful exit. We're going to use a little bit of his slipstream to propel us past him, and then carry it through using Kokoraki's slipstream. We're going to late brake, and now we're actually going to dive around the outside of Kokoraki in the BMW. Is that Kokoraki? Yep. And then ahead we have Kokoraki's teammate of the Global Events team. We're going to try and find a way around him as soon as we can, but now he's slowing down, and we're boxed in, which gives Kokoraki 9th place back, and now he's jumped into 8th. But now he's got a terrible exit, and we're going to force it around his outside. So now we're on the tail of Kokoraki, trying to get as many positions back. This has become, forget the 5th place bollocks, we're actually going to try and just see how many points we can recover from that incident. It's not good. The tyre wears on super fast, so it really wouldn't have done our tyre strategy any good. Now it's all about trying to, there seems to be a battle up here, which is, someone's actually been nearly spun, which has held all of them up, so we're actually going to, and now we're on the grass again, we just can't get that corner right, and now Super Bricklayer ahead of us is also getting it horribly wrong. We're going to try to stay with him and eventually dispatch him. I would have thought the plan is. But at the moment it's about how far can we get and how much tyre can we conserve. That's my main concern at the minute. Okay, flying back down to the hairpin now. We're not going to make any ambitious moves. We're just going to stay behind, let these three squabble it out, and hopefully pick them up from the squabble. Super Bricklayer from Sam ahead of us. And now, can we come when we force down his out? No, we think better of it. But now he's gone horrifically wide, which has given me the opportunity, and I know an opportunity when I see one. I take that right from Super Bricklayer. Now we're on the tail of TM Imports. Hopefully, this was the guy who was holding us up most of qualifying. Maybe we could have been higher up, who knows, but we'll never know now. It's about how fast can we dispatch him. We're in his slipstream. I think we might throw it down the inside ambitiously into turn 1, but I don't think we're close enough, so I'm not that ambitious, but I definitely closed the gap. And now, if we can't get past him before the S-bends, we're going to lose a lot of time to the car ahead of TM. But as you can see, we're just trying to get past, and he's just cutting off all our routes. It's very similar story to qualifying. There's just no way around him. No way at all. trying to flash the lights at him there to let him know that we're clearly the faster car at this stage, and he's just not having it. He seems to be on a damage limitation. How many positions can he not lose? But now we're going to stay in his slipstream, hopefully get a better exit. But we both get an average exit, and that's just not enough. And now braking, but he's actually left the door wide open, and we didn't even intend to make that move, but we've done it anyway. And now that's another position to us, up into 7th on lap 3. So I think that's what, about 3 positions in 3 laps, which is pretty good considering this isn't AI, these are all real players. So now the long trail begins to catch Kokoraki and Jamak, I think that is, I can't really see on the preview. So, as you can see down there on the tyre indicator, tyre wear on super fast to scale it out. And it's an absolute horror on this track. The front right just takes such a beating with 16.5 seconds off the lead. I don't know, but that start we got, we might have been very high. But we just managed the throttle and got a superb launch, which was able to propel us through the middle of 2 cars. And now we're just on our own here, trying to catch up. So, until we get around this corner, enjoy the sweet engine sound of the Mercedes SLS. Alright, so we're coming back into it now. We're going to try. I think we're actually steadily roping in the gap, because if you can see on the minimap there, it does appear to be a squabble. And when there's one of those all the time, they hold each other up, and it gives us the opportunity of wearing clean air here. Our strategy, we're going to go in on lap 5, we're going to try and make a 2-stopper and hopefully see it through. If the worst comes to the worst, we'll have to pit on about lap 12 or something just to get that extra set of tyres to carry us through to the end, which we don't want to do because you lose a lot of time in the pits. And they're not Formula 1 pits, they're just average GT pitmen. And now someone's actually in the pits, that's Jerry Gell. Jerry Gell's trying to make the undercut. He was in first place, he was absolutely untouchable in qualifying in that GTR. A 116 and everyone else was averaging 117.18. So Jerry Gell's really got it locked down. And we're coming in, like I said, we were roping them in steadily, and look at the gap we've closed in on now. Them two are going side by side into the S-bends, which is costing them. That's that might be at that. That's our teammate ahead of us. That's Welsh Sniper Spen, our teammate ahead of us. Now we've got to catch up and hopefully a dispatch of them two if possible. But also looking at our tyres, it's definitely time to come in for our pit stop. There's no choice about it. Spen's actually gone on the grass there, which I would have thought it cost him a lot of time, but it hasn't done. And he's still taking the challenge to Jamak up ahead, so we can try just stay with them, and then hopefully we might gain some time in the pits, depending on what pit exit they get. We might gain some time, we might lose some time, but at the minute it's just if we stay with them until the pits, we will be with them when we come out of the pits. So we're going to come in for tyres and fuel, and fuel's actually drained quite a lot in the 5 laps as well. But look at the understeer we're getting, look at the front right, it is completely gone. And now we're just going to dive into here and hopefully get a good stop. As you see there, we're just going to go with a recommended, because that's more than enough. Everyone, he goes so slowly when other people to avoid little cars, and that hasn't done us any good. Jerry Gell's undercut is absolutely working wonders for him here. And there goes Super Bricklayer. Hope we're definitely going to get out ahead of him, hopefully. On the minimaps, a lot of people are starting to come down the main straight, so none of them are pitting. It's really crucial that we get out before them, because if we get them and we're held up in the S-bends, our challenge for Spen and Jamak is just out of the window. So we're definitely not going to get a win this race now, after that mistake by me in 2 or 3 in the first lap. And now we've got quite little ahead of us, and he's lagging like a bitch. There's no other word for it. It's very scary to pass him, because that could have ended our race if he lagged into us, spun us out. Our challenge would be definitely gone, and we'd be fighting for 11th or 12th. So I'm a lot stronger than the cars ahead in the S-bends. I don't know if that's because their setup is more for speed and not downforce or something, but it's a good thing to have, and we'll have that in our weapon arsenal as we try to catch them down, going under the Apricot hill sign into the hairpin. Are they squabbling ahead of us? No, I think Spen's got himself a little clearer. Jamak's done a little jump on him there, and now it's just can we close in Spen? Will we take the challenge to Spen before the next pit stop or even before the race? The gap is about 28 seconds, I think, now. That's absolutely ridiculous. It really separates the... As Galactic Skull loses connection and ends his round 1. Not a very good way to end the day for Galactic Skull there, but he'll be taking home 0 points for his DNF. And now someone's actually pitting ahead of those. That is Coco Raki's teammate. I can't really see his name, can't pronounce it. I'll just call him Maz. So he's trying the overcut and it clearly hasn't worked. Now we've got up to TM Imports again. Hopefully he won't hold us up for the 3rd time this weekend. Can we get by him? And I think we're gonna try throw. And we're losing time to Spen as well. Spen's building a gap while all this is going on. You lose so much time in the squabble. And I get a bit on the grass there. Just trying to find a way past. I think we're going to leave it until after this corner, and then we're going to try get his slipstream to propel us. And if we're close enough, we are going to lunge him. We're going to throw it right up the inside of him. Now we've brought very late and we've thrown it very ambitiously up its inside. That's a Lewis Hamilton style move there. Check to see the car's okay from that. So Spen is again. Time to close in the gap to Spen after being held up by TM. You can see him ahead there. We'll take the S-bend, which is again where he loses a bit of time. I think he's running more speed than downforce. There seems to be a squabble on the main straight, but I think that's gone into the... No, they haven't gone into the pits. I'm just going to try stay with Spen. The more we stay with Spen, the more we close him in bit by bit. The gap to the leaders increasing massively. GTR and Z4 seems to be very good. Galactic Skull rejoins. I doubt he'll be a very happy bunny. Again, look at the gap we close into Spen in the S-bends. We just have so much speed to carry through here, which I'm not really sure. It is a good thing in terms of the gap, but in terms of tyre wear, it's not very good. I think at this point, me and Spen are in the same team, so our tyre wear is going to be roughly the same. And we don't really want to hold each other up. We don't want to squabble too much. We want to get as many points to the team as we can. We want to have a good start to the long season ahead. We're coming through the hairpin now, like halfway through the race. I don't think we're going to close the gap enough to challenge him this lap at all. But the gap to the leader just keeps increasing. Jerry Gell is a very talented driver in the cockpit of that GTR. I think we can see one of the team oversteer cars ahead of us squabbling with our teammate. Now he's either holding Spen up or Spen's holding him up, or I don't know what's going on there. But he doesn't look like he's pitted at all. I don't even think he didn't pit on lap 5. I don't know how he was keeping the tyres that alive. But they seem to be dying on him now because he's dropped about 30-40 seconds. Because he was right up with the leaders earlier, and then it just doesn't look like he started ahead of us, one position ahead of us in qualifying, and we started about in the middle of the field. So these two are going to squabble, and that's going to give us the free air to catch up again, and then we're going to join him. And we're going to see if we can take both of them as quickly as we can. So we're coming up to the hairpin again. Quickly shift down the gears while trying to manage the tyres as much as I can, but look, they're starting to die already, and I think we're starting to abuse them a lot now. Because as this is going, the lap after this, when we cross the line, it's going to be the last lap on these tyres, so we might as well take as much life out of them as we can to minimise the gap in the pits. And look at that, they're holding each other up massively. We've closed the gap hugely. You can barely see anything. There's a big puff of smoke from the sand club up there as Dommy dives to the apex. I think there were some complaints flinging around between the two of them, and Dommy would seem to be being aggressive at this part, but we're just going to hang back, hopefully pick up from any mistakes these two make. And you can tell his tyres are gone. He's got no straight line speed as well as traction. I mean, look, in 2 corners, we've just caught right up to his back bumper. We're going to do apex again now. Again, it's just a talent now of having no tyres and just trying to stay with him. if we can stay with them to the pit stop, hopefully we'll, again, like lap 5, we'll be still with them when we come out. We're running in our qualifying position at the moment, so we've come back from that spin, well, half spin, and now it's game on again. It's how many positions can be taken. Look at that, he's just got no cornering, he's got no brakes. The front tyres on his Merc are definitely gone. We might actually have a bit of a run on him here going into the S-bend, and we do. We've tried to throw it around his inside, but we're nervous on the brakes. I don't want to outbrake someone with the tyres in this condition, so we're just going to hang back. And he seems to get a shocking exit out of there again. Now we're going to throw it up his inside, but he's not going to give the position up. He seems to be very ambitious, and he doesn't pit. He carries on going, but as strategists call him, we're going to dive in the pits with our teammate and hopefully get a good stop. We're going to lower the petrol a little bit. And actually kind of goes through spend there, but I think we're going to get a good pit stop here. Hopefully the Merc boys can give us the stop we need to catch our teammate and Dommy. There goes Jamak. And we've jumped our teammate. Our teammate's right behind us. Look at that, we've jumped him in the pits. Well done to the Mercedes boys. And now we are going to get out in clean air again. We've just got to keep our teammate in the rear view and focus on catching the cars ahead. And someone's actually spun out in front of us. That was Super Bricklayer. I was very lucky he didn't collect us. So, flying through the S-bends again. Hopefully keeping everything nice and tidy. The strategy was pit every 5 laps, but we're in the last stint now. We're not going to pit after this, and we've got 6 laps to keep the tyres, so we've got to consider that 1 extra lap and conserve right to the end. So we're going to go nice and slow through here and just keep the tyres alive for this 1 lap. Conserve. That's all this lap's about, conserving this lap while keeping our teammate in the rear view. And someone shows up very late. But as long as we can conserve, we've actually closed the gap to Jamak quite a bit on that lap, so I think he's trying to conserve as well as us. So on the home straight again on lap 11, about to go on to lap 12 with 4 laps remaining now. The last 4 laps we're going to try push and conserve, and I think we're actually just trying to conserve to the end. We're not trying to push and catch Jamak. Because if we do that, the tyres will be gone by lap 15, and that last lap will literally just be falling off the cliff and dropping right down the order. So as long as we can keep a decent speed while trying to keep a decent amount of tyre, then we should carry it through to the finish. The battle's all over the track, but I don't think we're going to catch up to any other battles at the moment. I think we're just going to make our bed and attempt to keep racing in the battles that we are. We've got 4 laps left to keep the teammate in the rear view and keep the gap to Jamak healthy. And I think that's Coco Reki or something. No, it's I think some Finnish racing ahead of those, and I don't think he's pitted, so we might gain a few positions coming around. Yeah, you can see the TM imports up there. His tyres are short, he's going to dive into the pit lane, and that's P6 for us now. I think some others are in the pit lane as well, so that's going to be P5. We take P5, and now we're actually in our target, what we set for ourselves at the beginning of the race. And then, oh, Clark's there, just getting in the way there, costing us a bit of time through the overlapped car. He's still lagging quite. It's very dangerous overtaking someone that doesn't have a very good connection at the time of the race, so glad we got him dispatched with no drama. We've actually roped in Jamak steadily over the last couple of laps, and we might actually catch him before the end of the race if we keep going like this. But at this point my teammate really started to push. He started to push me, and that forced me to push, and so this is where the conserving bollocks just went right out the window. And then it became a heated race between me and my teammate, and I think there is actually some love taps, some bumps, some paint trading throughout this. but nothing to cost our team too much of a Webber-Vettel incident. So, trying to keep the gap to Jamak. We don't want him to try Vettel away. As long as I can stay with him, he could make a mistake, he could spin, he could run out of fuel. Because you don't know on very fast. You don't know how much fuel you're going to use, because it's significantly more than normal. So if you didn't put enough fuel in the last stop, if you attempted to short fill and just get yourself back out there and try to be lighter and more agile, then you could really hinder yourself towards the end of the race. But now we're pushing, and in the back of my mind I know that I have to conserve, but with Sven looming on us like that, we don't want to give away our target. So we're going to try as hard as we can to stay with Jamak and maybe even pick up P4 if he makes a mistake, and then that gives me a buffer between Sven. But Jamak's got some decent, and look at that, the tyres are going very well, and braking at that hairpin is becoming absolutely impossible. Sven closed us in a lot. Sven's definitely got healthier front tyres at this stage, and unlike GT5, if your front tyres when you have no turning, on here you still have turning, but you lose all traction and all your brakes. And then we actually go really wide, and that gives our teammate P5. That's not what we wanted. We've got to try stay with him as much as we can. We need to collect that position back, and he gets on the grass now, and he gets cut up, so we're going to try use that to propel ourselves past him, but with no straight line speed, the front tyres are gone, and we're just not picking up the traction. We need to get a good launch at Sven. And then we go very wide there and almost go on the sand and spin ourselves out. At this point, where me and Sven are absolutely dogfighting it to the extreme, to the right down to the limit on warm tyres, which is something you really don't want to do at Apricot Hill, because your tyre gets punished enough, your front right. But with Sven showing no remorse there, we're going to look up his inside, but he shuts the door. We're going to try to find a way past him. We actually get a miles better launch than Sven, and Sven goes on the grass. We're going to try use that to propel ourselves. Sven comes back in on the line, trying to hold our line, and now we're going to try lunge it, but the brakes, we have no brakes, and we give our teammate a little love turn there, and that was foul play by me. So I'm just going to try to let him back through. There you go, give him the position back, but we're still dogfighting for P5. We still want that P5, so got to do what we can to stay with him. And he gets a good exit out of the S-bend coming into the final corner. And this is the look at the front right. This is just absolutely punishing us. We're going to go dogfighting with our teammate on the last lap with a front right on 1 and the front left on 4. And the front left, we're going to rely entirely on that to keep our turning ability. And now we're going to try and launch it up his inside. And we're side by side, neck and neck through here, trying to, can't see him, kind of blind from the cockpit. And we'll throw it round his outside in the S-bend. Is that job done? No, it's still that, and there we go. Now it's job done. A spectacular move there, flying it around the outside of him in the S-bend. I think we did that a few times in testing, pre-season testing. But it's a very sneaky place to overtake. It doesn't look as easy as it is to throw it around there. As long as you have confidence in the car. The car's looking very battered at this stage. Trying to keep an eye out for Sven, and now someone's actually catching up to us, and he looks like he's slowing down a fair bit. I don't know what's happened there. I think he's actually run out of fuel. There's confirmation. The car catching Sven. Domi was about to challenge Sven, and he's run out of fuel at the last lap. He tried to short fill, and it's come back and bit him in the arse. Really not good there for Domi. So car's just all over the place at this part. The tyres are absolutely gone. Sven's right up behind us. If he gets on, we've gone on the grass. Sven's followed onto the grass. Super Bricklayer ahead has no fuel either. And we just hold off Sven. And we take 5th place at the opening round of the DDG League, which is a healthy start to the race. Healthy start to the championship campaign. And that'll be very healthy for STR Sport. A 5th and a 6th, which gives us about 22 points. So overall, it was a good race. Really good for the team. And until next time, guys, I'll see you next week. And goodbye.